Hi everyone, my name is Chengi and welcome to my world. I have Miss Apollonia Ponti of ApolloniaPontiDating.com. Is that right?
ApolloniaPonti.com.
Yeah. And I met this beautiful, lovely lady online actually, and I was stalking her YouTube channel because I thought this woman understands how to help men be the kind of men that I want my ladies to be meeting. So I stalked her. I became a subscriber and I found her on Instagram and we've become friends, and I'm here in Paris with her. She invited me to be here in Paris, so thank you for having me.
Of course.
And so today we're going to talk about what I'm always harping on my channel, about what high value men want. And I have a lot of women on this channel who are like, yeah, but we do all that, but I think they have a difficulty figuring out what high value is. So maybe you could just tell us, Apollonia, because you work with men, what is your definition of high value?
Yeah. So I want to start too by saying like what's not the definition of high value man, right? Like a high value man is not someone that is because his wallet is heavy or because he has this great status about him and he's everybody knows him, and that's what a lot of women kind of tend to get attracted to and have this bad boy image, right? This bad boy facade. But I think a high value man and the men that I work with really have a strong presence about them, and the strong presence that they have from them is there's a difference between this guy and the guy that is like this bad boy that has a strong presence. It's the mystery, the presence of mystery, right? That bad boy image. But then there's this other guy where he walks into a room and you feel the energy that he has it together, and he stands and he's composed in the way he is, and the energy that you feel from him is very neutral, because a man that knows himself doesn't have to do his best to impress a woman.
Absolutely.
Right? And I mean, some women might think honestly differently, like a man should impress, but I don't think so. I think a man is just as vital in a relationship as a woman is.
Absolutely.
And a man with pride and self-dignity and values is going to be able to cultivate a great communication with you, a great conversation with you. And then you look at the conversations that he's having with you. Like, is he asking you questions about you, your life? Is he trying to get to know you, or is he having surface-based level conversations with you? I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to standing out and the first attraction stage when you meet a guy. And also next would be a guy that paces himself, right? A lot of times it's a red flag when a guy just wants to jump right in, right? And I mean, there's been great relationships. I'm not bashing those that have got great relationships from jumping right in, because there's been great ones too. But it's not normal that that happens, right? So I think a man that naturally sets the tone to pace the relationship and properly courts you. It's not asking you, hey, come over just for dinner, let's watch a movie, let's do Netflix and chill. Like, that's not the guy that wants to settle down. A guy that wants to settle down is going to put in the effort. But the biggest thing in order to keep a guy that's putting in the effort is he's going to look for the woman that's going to put in the effort too. And I think that's really, really, really important, because I talk a lot about that on my channel.
You do actually. Now, can you explain that? What effort can a woman make without becoming masculine and doing the chasing and doing the giving and the what effort would that be?
Nurturing energy. So examples of nurturing energy, because this is how a woman gets the heart of a man, right? Nurturing energy can be more like taking initiative and interest in his values in life. Like, let's just say he's an entrepreneur, and you have no idea what marketing means, internet marketing, but this is what his job's all about. Well, you ask him questions, how can you help? And then he's like, I've been struggling to find this attorney that I need for a business attorney for this specific thing. And you're like, I'm going to help you find a great attorney, and you send him like Yelp reviews. Show him that you're helping him. That's nurturing energy. And then lastly too, a couple other points here is like nurturing energy is also when he takes you on a date, text him that night and say, I had a great night. I had a wonderful night with you and the conversation was great, and give him a compliment, right? Men like when you compliment their acts of service, like what they do for a woman, because the moment that you get good at complimenting a man for showing up for you, he's going to want to continue to do that, right? Another part of nurturing is checking in with him in the morning. When he says good morning, you text them back and say good morning as well. And it's not about like you have to be this hard to get girl.
Right.
But the way you become hard to get, to salvage and to have a healthy relationship and to lead with your attraction, to stick out from every other woman, is not to give in automatically on a first date. I'm such an advocate for that, right? I don't think that, and truth be told, it happens a lot in our day and ages, but when you're looking to really settle down in a serious relationship, I would hold off on sex until you know that the both of you are aligned and after the same thing. Because in the first moment you see a high value man, you don't want to just ruin the chances by losing attraction by sleeping together, because then things get awkward. And then you don't know how to pace it. And then things just start to happen and crumble, and then you're just like, damn, how did I lose this guy? You know? It's not because you're a bad girl and you didn't deserve it. It's just typically we learn from our lessons and our mistakes, and it's not just to dive in head first. You know, I always say that.
So pacing is important, and nurturing. So how about how much does a woman give back in return, as opposed to what he gives? What would be the healthy ratio? So if he takes you out for dinner, do you take him out the next day, or do you let him take you out on a few dates? How does that work?
Yeah, I think he should take you out on a few dates, I'll be honest. And I even tell my men this, right? But I do, another thing that I do tell men, and you'll know, ladies, if this happens to you, this means this man has saw one of my videos probably. Typically, like, he'll plan a date, 2 dates, 3 dates, and then after the third date, I always tell the guy, tell the girl, all right, now I want to see a piece of your world. You're planning the next date.
Right,
because,
that's fun.
Yeah, because what that does for a woman, us women, it's like, oh my gosh, it puts our mind in a different element that we have to work for him now. Yeah. We have to impress him. And so we get a dose of the reality that the man has been having to do for us. Yeah. So then you would change up the game a little bit. So I think that with that said, that's one. But in regards to your question too about, you know, how much do we give? Yeah. I think it's 50-50. I think a woman should show up just as much as a man should show up. And how we get this wrong is we don't pace ourselves in relationships. Right. Because we jump into things right away, because in our world today, we're so used to instant gratification, right? We can order something on Amazon in a heartbeat and it just be shipped to our door in 2 days. We can go on a dating app and find a one-night stand if we really wanted to. We can get, Postmates in America, I don't know if is Postmates in London?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Well, in America, there's this app where you can just purchase like an Apple computer and they'll deliver it to you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and everything is at your fingertips these days, you know? And so we think that in relation, and we get so used to it, not that we think, but we get so used to it, that we start doing this in our relationships. And this is why relationships have taken a toll on people, and people are getting frustrated with dating, is because we're not naturally pacing ourselves to be effective to find love. And the way you effectively find love comes in time. You don't just jump in a friendship and say, this is my best friend.
Absolutely.
You see if they have the values, you see if they have the boundaries that you do, you see if you have this connection, you see if you can trust them. How do you trust them? Over time, right? So that's so important when it comes to that. So I think when a woman steps up, it should be 50-50. Mirror each other and how much you guys are showing up, and let it naturally progress, and stop putting so much emphasis on having to have this guy.
Right. That's really important. I think we kind of get into the whole sort of, how do I win him? Because a good high value man just feels like he's just not going to be available. So you feel like if you pace it too much, you might lose him. But I think just before we go, just explain this pacing situation. So he's enthusiastic about you. He wants to see you every day. He wants to do everything with you all the time. How do you pace it? How does the woman pace it without coming across as uninterested or... Yeah.
So this is where I think it's a great question, because this is where I think a lot of masculine energy can be played with a woman. Yeah. Because in order, we think it's so simple, right? But it always comes down to the key principles: is pacing and communication. Right? And communicating this to a man effectively by saying, you're not going to bash him by saying, I don't want to, you're doing this all wrong, you. No, you want to show him that there's an idea of a partnership. So everything is what, why, and we. I always say this. You always start with the W's, because these are curiosity questions, and it opens up a platform of not finger pointing, but instead opening up a conversation. Meaning, example, listen, we've been seeing each other a lot, and The reason why I really enjoy you is because I have this connection, but I also want to make sure that we pace ourselves in a healthy way so we can eventually get to what we both want. You see the difference?
Yeah.
It's all the W's, and those are the key things that I always tell people when it comes to effectively communicating, because instead, if I was to say, I don't think it's a good idea because of the fact that I am just feeling a little overwhelmed because I think that this is not healthy for us to do this and jump in and see each other all the way. It's you're going to push them away.
Yeah.
So effective communication is so important when it comes to setting that pace, and if you guys are seeing each other that much, talk about it, talk openly about it, and then when you do, plan something. Let's say it's Monday, you have that conversation, he wants to see you on Tuesday. You're like, but how about Thursday? I would love to go to this really nice restaurant that I've been willing to try out. I want to do it Thursday at 8 and end it with that. So he knows that you're not shutting him off, but you're keeping it open, but you're also coming in with your masculine energy that he forgot and pacing it, and now you're giving him the platform to step up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I think this is valuable. I know this is valuable because I think a lot of it is communicating. A lot of women struggle with their communication. How do I communicate this? Because we're always afraid to lose him. And I think the fear of losing him, and it's really not about who you're going to lose him, it's how you do it. But I'm going to say this to you girls. You need to go and subscribe to Mrs. Ponti's channel, because I actually watch her videos, and the reason I watch them is I want to know the conversation that men are having, right? And I feel that if you are listening to a healthy coach for men, and you are listening to the conversations that she's having with them and the information that they're taking on board, then you'll be able to identify a high value man anyway, because you'll be like, okay, it's the third date and this is what he's doing, so he's smart and he's the sort of man that I'm after. So definitely subscribe to her channel. I know you're a woman, I'm a woman, I subscribe to her channel, and just be part of that conversation. And thank you so much for coming to my channel.
I'm so happy to do this video with you. Thank you.
It's amazing. I'm so glad. I'm going to adopt her. So thank you so much for coming, and take care of you. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.